Here we are, stepping into the fifth part of our Illuminating Scrum series. In this episode, we will explore the purpose and significance of Scrum artifacts. We'll begin by uncovering the essence of the product backlog. Moving forward, we'll unravel the sprint backlog and the product increment. Lastly, we'll emphasize the importance of tracking progress throughout the journey. So, let's dive right in. Let's begin by unraveling the significance of Scrum artifacts and how they serve as powerful tools for guiding the journey of Scrum teams. Scrum artifacts are created with the intention of promoting openness, transparency, and collaboration. Scrum artifacts are tangible and observable evidence of the work being done and the progress being made by the Scrum team. They serve the team, stakeholders, and management in reaching a common understanding of the project status, intermediate outcomes, and long-term objectives. By facilitating access and visibility of the work, Scrum artifacts promote making well-informed decisions based on up-to-date information. Furthermore, these artifacts enable team members to monitor progress, spot potential obstacles, and make data-driven improvements. They lay the groundwork for open communication, effective coordination, and collaborative decision-making. Scrum artifacts subsequently empower Agile teams to effectively steer the value delivery process. Therefore, the Scrum framework establishes a commitment for each artifact, ensuring that artifacts are purposeful and evolving over time. Commitments enable tracking and assessing progress towards the desired outcomes. They also guide the team's work and provide them with clear intent and focus. Now, we're about to unveil the intricate world of the product backlog, a living repository of requirements that guides product development. The product backlog is a living and prioritized list of items that reflects the work needed for building the product. It serves as the Scrum team's sole source of work. The work items in a product backlog may be divided into numerous categories: new features, technical tasks, bugs, improvements. Moreover, the product owner is primarily responsible for managing and prioritizing the product backlog. The Scrum team as a whole, however, is accountable for refining the product backlog. Refining the product backlog is an ongoing activity involving the use of the collective intelligence of the Scrum team. To reach a common understanding of the requirements, identify dependencies or risks, estimate work, and apply any necessary changes, the team goes over and analyzes backlog items during refinement sessions. Refinement's primary goal is to get backlog items into a condition where they are ready for selection and implementation in the upcoming sprints. It is critical to keep in mind that regular refinement contributes significantly to efficient sprint planning by maintaining a reliable and well-prepared source of work. To assist them in identifying the work items that are ready to be selected in the next sprints, the Scrum team can come to an agreement on a shared definition of ready. The definition of ready is a set of criteria that each backlog item must meet before they are deemed ready for implementation. These criteria must be measurable and discernible in order for the team to determine if a backlog item satisfies them. These criteria should also be flexible and subject to improvement over time to better serve the particular needs of the team. In addition, the Scrum team should establish a specific product goal in coordination with stakeholders to guide the emergence of the product backlog. The product goal should refer to a desired future state of the product based on organization's overall strategy, customer needs, and team's innovation. Thus, depending on their impact on achieving the product goal, the backlog items are refined and prioritized. It is significant to highlight that the product goal evolves over time to coincide with customer feedback, market trends, and other factors, and therefore the backlog items must be adjusted accordingly. Shifting our focus, we'll unveil now the role of the sprint backlog as a comprehensive plan for the current sprint. The sprint backlog is a subset of the product backlog. The entire Scrum team have access to the sprint backlog, but developers are in charge of managing it. These three components are incorporated into the sprint backlog. The sprint goal. The sprint goal serves as the sprint's purpose, that the Scrum team strives to accomplish throughout the sprint. It is determined collaboratively by the Scrum team during the sprint planning session. The sprint goal should support the product's development and moving in the direction of realizing the product vision. The sprint goal should also provide clear guidance, inspiring the team's work and decision-making throughout the sprint. Besides, the sprint goal acts as a uniting element that fosters cohesion within the Scrum team by directing their focus towards a shared goal. Additionally, the inspection and adaptation process is significantly facilitated by the sprint goal. With a defined objective, the team can track easily their progress, detect any impediments, and make the required changes to keep moving in the right direction. A set of product backlog items. It refers to the product backlog items chosen by the developers to be finished during the sprint. Each chosen item needs to be clearly defined and understood in order for developers to implement it. The item's selection is made based on their priority, value, and relevance to the sprint goal. The items are also chosen regarding their feasibility to be completed within the sprint's timeframe. Additionally, developers forecast how much work they may perform throughout the sprint using items estimation. Estimating backlog items takes place during the backlog refinement sessions and is performed by developers. They assess collectively items' overall size, complexity, and potential implementation effort in order to define a relative measure. They also consider their expertise, skills, and comprehension of the work involved to determine an accurate estimation. An actionable plan. It is a viable plan, outlining how the chosen product backlog items will be completed and delivered as a potentially releasable increment. To set up this plan, developers initially break down the selected items into more detailed tasks or subtasks during the sprint planning meeting. Any interdependencies or needs for sequencing are also taken into consideration in the actionable plan. Furthermore, the plan can, however, evolve throughout the sprint as the team finds out more about the current circumstances and gains new insights of the work involved. Developers remain accountable for maintaining and accommodating the plan as needed to provide a shared understanding of the actions required to accomplish the sprint goal. Stepping into the heart of Scrum's value delivery, we're about to uncover the essence of the product increment, the tangible outcome of a sprint's effort. The increment is a concrete outcome that demonstrates success in providing incremental value. It is a collection of sprint completed, defects-free, and release-ready product backlog items. The increment supports the fulfillment of the product goal and contributes to the overall coherence of the product. It provides an excellent foundation for getting feedback from stakeholders and enables them to track easily the product's evolution. On the other side, it promotes continuous learning and propels the Scrum team to constant improvement. Besides, Scrum emphasizes the increment's usability and capacity for serving its intended purpose. Offering stakeholders a workable solution that fulfills their needs must be the ultimate priority of increment delivery. Delivering a full feature set is therefore useless unless stakeholders can benefit from it. Bear in mind that value releasing opportunities are not limited to the sprint review. The increment can be delivered by the Scrum team before the sprint concludes, supporting a stream of continuous value delivery. A sprint may also include the creation and delivery of many increments with various outcomes. The Scrum team can opt to provide several increments throughout a sprint in order to deal with changing priorities or emerging requirements. But it's essential for the Scrum team to strike a balance between providing valuable increments and maintaining a sustainable pace. Furthermore, it is crucial to be aware that there is no relationship between the increment's release and the sprint's completion. The product owner decides the appropriate time to release the increment based on a thorough understanding of stakeholders' needs and expectations. However, deciding whether the increment or a work item is considered done or not doesn't require the product owner's approval. Developers can independently make these decisions by referring to the definition of done. The definition of done refers to the consensus among the Scrum team over the criteria that must be satisfied for a product backlog item or an increment to be deemed finished and done. It may be tailored throughout time to take into account the functional and non-functional aspects of the work items. By establishing a clear and common definition of done, the Scrum team can sustain solid quality standards and ensure constant value delivery. In addition, team dynamics benefit from setting up a definition of done by enhancing cohesion, preventing confusion, and reducing rework. Besides, the definition of done is specific to each product. If there are multiple Scrum teams working on the same product, they must agree upon a shared definition of done. Also, all Scrum teams within an organization must, at the very least, abide by the definition of done. If it has been set as a standard across all products, they may use it as a basis and then add criteria as necessary to suit their own needs. As we approach the conclusion of this insightful episode, we're about to explore the art of tracking progress and its role in achieving product objectives. In Scrum, forecasting progress is essential for assuring the effectiveness of value delivery process. It serves as a foundation for establishing reasonable expectations and preventing overcommitment. By forecasting progress, the team can plan properly and make the most use of the resources available. The team can also spot emerging risks and take preventative measures to make sure the project doesn't deviate. Scrum artifacts are essential for progress forecasting, since they offer valuable data that can be used to develop accurate forecasts. For instance, the product backlog may be utilized to forecast the progress made towards achieving the product goal, while the sprint backlog may be used to assess if the team is on pace for fulfilling the sprint goal. Here are some of the most known practices to forecast progress in Scrum. Burn-down chart. This chart displays how much work is still left to do. It highlights the disparity between the predicted progress and the actual one. This allows the team to identify any deviations or delays, and thus adjust their plans and take corrective actions to stay on course. Burn-up chart. This chart shows the total amount of work that has been completed over time. By comparing the amount of the work done with the planned one, the team can anticipate the pace of progress and determine when they are likely to finish the remaining work. Cumulative flow diagram. This diagram illustrates how work moves through several phases. By examining the diagram, the team can assess how work flow through each phase, spot any potential impediments, and improve the existing workflows. After delving into the key concepts of Scrum, we'll go through the framework's full potential in the following episode by identifying its most important advantages and debunking common misconceptions.